Hello, 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 and welcome. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so come on in,
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am, I can hear you.
All right, all right. So come on in, everyone. We're getting ready. We're getting set. It's 6:30, and we're waiting to maybe for a new few more seconds. Let everything get settled. Come on in. Come on in. I'm trying to find. All right, let me let in everybody else. Admit all. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Admit all. Admit all. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. We're getting ready to get started. So excited. It's Monday. So excited to see everyone. So excited. Today is going to be a great, great, great topic. I'm going to wait another minute. It's 6:31. Wait another minute. I'm excited. It's the holiday. It's the holiday. Oh my goodness. We were just talking about how next year is like 2 weeks away. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Are you all decorated for the holiday?
Not me.
Not
Not
me.
me.
Nothing.
Not me, not me.
Not
My
me
husband
at
bought
all.
lights, but they're not put up yet. So anyway, it's 6:32, and we're going to get started. So be respectful of everyone's time. We're going to get started, but I'm so excited that you guys are actually here. So this is near and dear to my heart, and I know it's near and dear to Rana Lee's heart and Rosemarie's heart. So you guys are going to learn a lot of great stuff tonight, and we're going to take it away. But how today we're going to learn how to choose a nursing home, an assistant living, and a rehab. So you are listening to No Filter, No Script, just honest, real talk. So, guys, I am Viv, and today, we're just going to be diving into those real life, not so fun things that we want to talk about, and not necessarily that we want to talk about it, but it's almost like death. We don't want to talk about it, but it happens. Same thing like nursing home and assistant living, rehab. A lot of times we don't want to talk about that, but today we're not doctors. Remember, we're not doctors, so we just carrying on a conversation. So don't hold us to it and think that we're a doctor and we're giving advice or anything like that. We're no such thing. We're not doing that. But today we're just gonna dive right in about assistant living and what to look for, all the red flags that are out there. So we're gonna just jump right in. So I'm Viv Cunningham, your girl here in Central Florida. So I look forward to carrying on this conversation. So today, I am just gonna let maybe I'll let Miss Rana Lee go first. Or maybe I should let Miss Rose go first. I don't know
Let's
about that. Let Miss Rose start off a little bit first, and then after that, then we'll have Miss Rose come back in the middle and maybe come back at the end. But Rana Lee, we're gonna give you the floor today because last week you were missing and you gave us some great tips that I was able to go and bullet point. But I'm so excited about this group. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Welcome in, welcome in. Miss Ronally, you got the floor, girl.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I actually just wanted to hit a couple of big things, and then Rose will talk more of the heart of stuff. But I want to make sure that you have tools to know where to go to find out information on the skilled care facilities. So if you're looking at a SNF, a skilled nursing facility, or an assisted living facility that has been licensed by the state, they get inspected by the state. And these inspections are required. And so that these facilities get funding, they have to be inspected. The skilled nursing facilities in the state of Florida are inspected every 12 to 15 months unless there's been a reported incident or a complaint. And then that will trigger for the state inspectors to go out and will survey specific based on that complaint. So it's great that the facilities are inspected and surveyed, but you have the right to find out what those results are from those surveys. So if you're looking at a facility, or if you have a loved member in a care facility, you can ask them, hey, can I see your most recent survey or your most recent inspections? And what you're looking for is you're looking to see if they have any deficiencies and how long did it take for them to address those deficiencies. The state of Florida is very clear in law as to the classification of those deficiencies. So that's all kind of getting into the deep of things. But I want to give you a really good tool for you to look at for the federal side. The federal side, you can go to, it's the medicare.gov/care-compare. And you can look at all of the facilities that are in your area, or maybe you're looking at a skilled nursing facility or a short-term rehab facility that you're going to be thinking about yourself or for a loved one for maybe a long-term care. And you can compare the level of care as well as, which is, it's all in there. CMS does a 5-star rating. So you'll see how many stars. But if you go to this website, I really want you to pay attention to the red hand. So there will be some facilities that have been tagged with a red hand. Now that's really something to pay attention to, because that means that there's been abuse or resident harm or potential for resident harm. And so this will at least give you the tools to know what you're looking for when you're looking at doing your research on facilities. So,
Ms. Ronaldie, give me again the website. You said medicare.gov.
Yes, medicare.gov/care-compare.
Compare. Okay.
Yep. And so that's going to be really good. Those 5-star ratings, those are based on the 3 most recent state inspections, as well as staffing, and also their quality measures, what they've done to make sure that the residents are being cared for and are the bells are being answered. So when somebody hits a light, how long it takes for the nurses to respond to those lights, that's all going to be addressed in those surveys. So the CMS, that's for the skilled nursing. The ALFs, or the assisted living facilities, those are all regulated by the state. So here's another website for you to write down. It's floridahealthfinder.gov. And then you'll be able to see the state surveys in there.
Florida
So that's kind of
okay.
Yep, that's kind of a lot of quick information. And I guess the big part is really researching. Don't go in looking at the chandeliers, go in looking underneath the blankets, checking and making sure that if you have a loved one in a facility, checking to make sure that they're being taken care of, that their bell calls are being answered quickly. Look at your loved one's ankles. Is there any swelling? Have they been moved around? Also, you can just little things happen in a nursing home. You want to look for the bigger things too. You want to be the one who's there. I sent you Vivian, I sent you a 1-pager, but it pretty much says that when you're there, you know that what's going on, what kind of care that person's getting. But above that, the people who are caring for your loved member, they know that you're there. They know that they're taking care of you. My great-grandmother was 99 when she went in skilled care. She was there until she was 105.
Wow.
We were there. We had a family member there every single day, because we wanted them to know that, hey, we're watching, we're paying attention, and we know how our great-grandma is doing. And so having worked in a skilled care facility, I kind of, on the CEO, worked with the CEO, I know how important the CMS ratings are for these facilities to be sure to take care and make sure that there's a lot that's tied to those ratings. But for us, it's mostly just making sure that our mamas and our daddies are being taken care of.
Yeah,
And
if anyone,
I have tons of information on it, and I can answer any questions. I'm not sure how much you want me to go. Florida, they do in classifications for deficiencies. So you want to really check out anything that's like a class 1 or a class 2 deficiency. Class 3 is pretty much like an indirect threat, but you want to see what kind of deficiencies they've had on their surveys, and the facility should give you the survey as soon as you ask for it.
okay, so you're asking for a survey. Okay, you can go in and ask for
Yep.
a survey. And then when you talk about deficiencies, I'm not understanding deficiency. What are we looking for? What kind of deficiency are we looking for?
So those are deficiencies. That's what they've been on the survey. It will say like what the state has declared as a deficiency.
Okay.
So that's going to be on the survey.
Okay, this so determined.
And
Okay.
so when this facility gets a deficiency score, or if they get like a class 1 deficiency, like an imminent danger deficiency, they have to fix that immediately. They have to eliminate the danger within 24 hours. But you want to look at their past surveys, how many deficiencies and what classifications, if they have any.
Okay. That's good to know. It's something that I didn't know about, and so that's why it's important for us to be able to help seniors find those things, because and you talk about going to visit, going to visit almost every day, because they know you're coming, so then therefore they're going to take better care of your loved ones. So that's a good thing compared to when you throw them in there and then you never go visit them, or they never know when you're coming.
Well, the line I like to use is that which gets inspected gets respected.
Okay. Good way, good way, good way, good way. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Miss Ronalee?
I know that was an awful lot of information.
Okay, so she gave me a 1-page. If anyone wants it, I can send out the 1-page about what to look for when it comes to the red hand, and then pop-up protocols, schedules, and things like that. Checking the ankles. She gave me like a 1-page if anyone needs any information. But I also put inside the chat the different website that she was talking about. So you guys might want to save those websites. And if not, you can always ask us, because we're here. We'll be happy to share those websites back with you, because it's important that our loved ones, our senior loved one, stay safe. And I've seen it where, gone inside nursing home. For me, when I go inside nursing home, and I just can't stand that smell that is inside the nursing home. It's almost like you go in there and it just smells so bad. It doesn't really smell good, so then therefore you don't know if you want to leave your loved ones there or not. But there's a lot to look into when it comes to nursing home facility and rehab and short-term facility and stuff like that. So Mr. Ronalee, we thank you for all that useful information. So anyway,
and I think the other thing when you go in is ask what they do for activities, and then also ask if somebody doesn't want to do an activity, are there alternatives? And if you have a set menu, what if your mama doesn't like what's on the menu? Is there alternatives for them to have something different to eat? Do you need to bring them something? And then participate. I know that I used to volunteer and go into the nursing home and participate. We did a really big senior prom. And so we had a big band come in and play, and we helped to coordinate the prom gowns, and we stayed and danced with the residents to have their senior prom. So find ways to get involved. We also volunteered by going in and doing armchair travel. I would go into the nursing home and bring pictures from my latest journey, my latest travel, and share the pictures and tell them about some of the adventures adventures that I went on. So you can volunteer, find ways to get involved. And I don't even have a loved one in the nursing home. I just like to go up and be engaged and volunteer. And it's sad that you've been in nursing homes that have bad smells. I've been in a lot of nursing homes that don't have the bad smells. And so if there are bad smells, that might be a sign that there's some sort of a quality measure that isn't in place to take care of somebody's needs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for that input. Anyone have any question for Miss Ronali? If not, we're gonna yield the floor to Miss Rosemary. Miss Rosemary.
Well, hello everyone.
It's
It's awesome.
joke this morning. You find the RR whatever rhythm show. And this morning you give some talk and stuff like that. Nice show this morning, man.
Well, let me tell it to you plain, without script, okay? Without filter. Because let me tell you, let me say this plain. Taking me out of my house and putting me into a one room in somebody else's house. No, sir, that is downsizing. Nah, downsize. No, it's called disappearing act. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but let's be honest. It's not a casket, you understand? It feels like a coffin without Wi-Fi. You mean to tell me I spend my whole life building a home, making memories, hosting people, praying in every corner, raising children, breaking bread, and now my life gets reduced to a one room in a shared bathroom schedule? No, sir. That's not care. That's called containment. They say you'll be fine. You can sit. But let me tell you something. I may be sitting down, but I'm standing up on the outside. My spirit is still tall. My mind still has opinion. And my soul still take up space. So don't tuck me in a corner and call it love. Now let's put all kidding aside, because this is where it gets real. If you don't make plans for my end of life, someone else will. If you don't make plans for your end of life, someone else will. Should I say it again? If you
Yes.
don't make plans for your end of life, someone
Someone
else
else will.
And if them not like you, at that time it a go burn you. And
Yes.
say, okay. And when they do, they won't be guided by my values. They'll be guided by their convenience, by their cost, by their time, and by what works best for them. But here is the uncomfortable question that we avoid. Do we really want to give someone else that much responsibility, that much power? Because deciding where I live, how I'm cared for, what I eat, who speaks for me, how my story ends, that's not a small assignment, you know. I've sat with families who meant well and still got it wrong. I've watched strong women shrink themselves in a corner, not because they were weak, but because they never wrote it down. They never said it out loud. They never wrote an end of life plan or a will. And they never claimed their voice while they still had it. End of life planning is not about dying. It's about living with authority until the very end. So end of life planning is not about dying, like me say. It's saying, this is how I want to be cared for. This is where I want to live. This is how I want to be remembered. It's refusing to be boxed in, literally and figuratively. I'm not afraid of aging. I'm afraid of being erased while I'm still here. So don't move me without consulting me. Don't reduce me without honoring me. And don't you silence me because I'm quiet. Because even if I'm sitting down, I'm still standing tall. And I plan to decide that for myself. So that's where it's at. We have to make plans ahead of time, go to the different facilities, sniff them out, not literally, but go and check them out before you make a decision or allow somebody else to make the decision for you.
And if you do not make it, somebody else will make the decision for you.
Somebody else will make the decision for you, and that you can't blame them.
Nope.
I was with a lady today, and she literally cried. She said, it's as if she's saying, is this me come to? And I had to remind her, this is not what you come to. Give God thanks, because you did not plan for your end of life.
That's it. We all have to plan for that, don't we?
Yes, ma'am.
All have to plan for our end of life. A lot of time it's not a topic that we want to talk about, but it's something that we have to plan for. You know, because if you don't plan it, somebody else will. My husband said,
Yes.
put him in a want cardboard box. He could care less.
Well, yeah, well, the bottom line is that you might have a stroke and you are very aware as to your surrounding. And you might have a stroke and you have no feelings, no understanding. And at that point, it doesn't matter either way. You have no idea. And that's the mystery of life. You have no idea what is gonna happen to you. And if I'll take a minute to explain, you have personal care home that you can live with a family, and they are allowed to have 2 non-relative living with them, that they integrate them into their family and they care for them as if they are a part of their household. Or you can live in an assisted living, and that means they assist you with your living, with your care giving. That means assisted mean they're assisting you as they care for you, okay? They can touch you, they can bathe you. Independent living, they don't touch you. Congregate living, they cannot touch you. You're on your own in a congregate living. A congregate living means that you have your own private unit and you congregate for meals and for socialization. And then there's the commercial assisted living. That's more than 6 beds, more than 6 licensed beds. And it can go as high as they want it to be, 100, whatever. And those commercial licensed facilities could either be owned by an individual, a corporation, and it can be run like similar to a hospital with an organizational chart. Okay? They're independent living where you can rent a room, like a rooming house, and you're totally on your own with no management staff. You are renting a room in a house. So you can, or you can retire in place at your home, where you can share your home with someone else, with another senior. You can either give them a reduced rental to be with you, or you can give them a free room in exchange to care for you, a younger senior that will care for you until you pass away. You can make those decisions, someone you trust, and then you can make plans. You don't have to be surprised.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
I took the senior living senior real estate class, and it was quite a few days. And the thing is, we're choosing a assistant living or nursing home or whatever it is that you choose. I realized that some of them want you to surrender your house to them. You know, give up your house. That, and then some of them it's not cheap. Some of them are very expensive when it comes to getting inside of it. Heads up. I heard about some of them that sometimes it costs what, $64,000 just the initial fee just to get inside some of these homes. So when you talk about you know, aging in place inside your home, you know, I'm thinking, you know, most people, you know, of course, you know, Ronald Lee was talking about the different facilities and stuff like that. But you know, you talk about assisted living, somebody else coming inside your home and being able to sit with you, a younger person compared to your age, sit with you, or maybe a companionship. But most people nowadays, you know, because the senior livings or assisted living, they're so expensive, are thinking about maybe they want to age in place. What is your suggestion, or something like that about aging in place? Is it still you're going to be maybe getting someone to live with that person or be able to help that person? How do you handle that, you know, aging in place when it
Okay.
comes?
When you mention about that application fee that you pay to get into a facility, let's take the Mayflower or Lutheran Towers for example, all right, those facilities are owned by a church. And most times they do not have a mortgage through a regular facility. And therefore they would have, like, let's say 100 units. And that 100 units, let's say it costs $2 million to build that facility. Then they divide that up for the 200 clients that are in there. So let's say they come up with $100,000 each, and they own that unit. And most times when they die, the organization become the beneficiary of the down payment that they put in there. If they do not bestow it to the facility, to the church, then the next person who is coming in has to come in with that money. There's no interest on it, and that money goes to the children of the deceased. Okay, so the application fee is what they will pay to get in. They have a unit, let's say 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit, and they live in there. They're not paying rent. They pay a maintenance fee per month to be in there, almost like a homeowners association, and that covers whether it's light, water, meals, housekeeping, but they pay a maintenance fee per month. Okay. Now, what was the question you asked me again?
About taking their house.
Okay. When they take their house, it has to do with it's depending on the organizational structure of where they're moving in. If they have no other family member to receive, then yes, the church could ask that they sell their assets in order to get in there. And I use the church as an example, that they sell their asset and they now become a ward of the organization that is taking them over, because they're not going to be maintaining their homes that is out there. All right. Now, they might choose not to do that, and they might find an executor outside there to maintain the property. Okay. You have to think, according to there's some elderly that age and outlive their finances. All right. And if they're going to put that into a trust, then they sell their property, put it in a trust, and that trust pays for their living expenses until they pass away, and then the beneficiary, whomever it is, gets that money.
So what
And that
happens
is
if there's not enough money left over once they sell their house? What happens? I guess they put them out after the money runs out.
Well,
well,
if you're in a nonprofit, then there's opportunity to convert over to, if they have any Medicaid beds, you'd have to use up all of your resources. And that's where selling your home comes into play. If you're in a skilled care facility, then you would use your resources. When your resources have exhausted, if it's a nonprofit, then you would transfer over to one of their Medicaid beds.
Okay, thanks. Also, what happens if Ronnie talks about going in and making sure that, we're not looking at the chandeliers and things like that. What happens if you go in there and you find out that they're not taking care of your loved one? Is it an easy process just to be able to transfer them out of there into another facility that maybe you checked out down the street, and then they're getting better treatment, and of course it smells better?
Well, so if they are on Medicaid, then it's a little bit more of a process. If you go in to see your mom or your dad and they are not being cared for, then you need to call and report that. There is ombudsmen at the skilled nursing facilities, or if you're in a nursing rehab facility, there's ombudsman. You'll contact the ombudsman and you'll report what you're seeing, and then they will be inspected, and hopefully they will fix it. I mean, they should fix it. They have to fix it. Otherwise, they lose their funding. So if there's a problem, you got to report it. If you're private pay, then you just have to make sure you can go to another facility that has a bed open. And a lot of times you have to work with a discharge nurse and an admissions nurse. So there is a process for admissions. I do want to provide some information on aging in place. There's a program, it's PACE, PACE, And so that's actually like it's a program of all-inclusive care for elderly, and it's a word that's used in all different states on how to age in place. And I'm going to put a link in the chat for people who are in Florida, Orlando in particular. You can go to this website and you can get some information on aging in place. What they do is they have complex care needs to avoid nursing homes. So they'll help you be able to, especially if it's billable hours, they'll help you be able to tap into your insurance that you have and coordinate those levels of care. Some states don't have PACE. I know I've worked with other states. I've worked on the legislative end, helping states get PACE in place. And there's not all areas have PACE. So you can do a search to see if there is PACE in your area. But the National PACE website, there is a National PACE website, and it's npaonline.org, which will help you find a PACE center in your area. Again, that's a program that is to help you be able to age in place to avoid nursing homes and instead receive those care and services in your home. So assisted living, they determine what your level of need is, what are your daily needs for assistance. So you may just need somebody to make sure you take your medication. You may need somebody who can put your compression socks on. You may need somebody who can heat up your meals. They'll come in and determine what that level of care is so that you are able to stay in your home.
Okay, for the PACE. All right, that's good to know that, because a lot of people are always out there and need some help, staying in place, don't want to leave their home. So that's good to know that that resource is out there. I'll find that website and get that, so Miss Rosemary, I'm going to charge you to have a list. Copy. I'm gonna charge you to have a list, since you're the writer on this. Have a list of all the resources that one can go to, and all we have to do is just when somebody reach out to us about a list and we need a list, we have resources that we can ask, because people are always asking us for resources. Yeah.
Okay, so for PACE, the website is NPAONLINE, npaonline.org.
npaonline.org. Okay, all right,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, it'd be good to have the have it. I'm gonna put it inside the. I'm gonna put that one that Miss Ronali was just talking about. This is the right one?
Yes.
Orlando PACE Senior Service.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the other one that you were telling me about, the npaonline.org, that's something different?
The official PACE website.
That's the national.
The national.
Okay, the NPA is the national online.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna look that up. Go ahead, Miss Rosemary. You can go ahead and between you and Miss Ronali, go ahead and talk while I look this up.
Okay. Are you good, Ronnie? You need me to do anything? I have stuff.
Oh no, you go right ahead. I think I've got the logistics and you've got the heart.
Okay. So why would we want at age 55 is when PACE, you can contact PACE and they will interview you and they will determine what it is that you need for your aging in place. And then you can look at yourself and say, what does it look like? What is it that I need? You might need someone to come in for a few hours a week to help you. You might need a grab bar for the bathroom, and which is always a good idea. You might just need somebody to cook. You might just need a neighbor to check in on you. You might need your elder children to come in and just to make sure they check up on you to make sure that you're all right. Now, if you want to have a bigger benefit like emotional health or spiritual grounding, or you want a little bit more independence in your feeling, okay? And you want to maintain your dignity, they help you to manage these questions and concerns that you have. So the truth that nobody likes to say is, even though you are healthy and you seem wealthy in your knowledge, you still have a time in your life when you are concerned about getting older. This morning, I was faced with that, and I'm like thinking, I don't see where my children are going to be making good decisions for my life. Sometimes I think about adopting a child, a younger person, and let's say they're 17 years old now, and I give myself another 15 years, they'll be just the right age. Preferably, I thought about sponsoring someone who wants to go to a nursing school and to help that person to go to nursing school, and hopefully they will like me enough to take care of me later on in life. I thought about starting a nursing home and put myself in the nursing home so I can retire in place. I can stay in there and turn it over to the person who I trust to run the organization, to run the facility. So smart planning is always a good way of doing things. So a clear advance directive, a trusted healthcare proxy, a conversation with your family before your emotions start flying high and start saying nobody care about you, but just to realistically look at your mobility and your safety, knowing when to accept help without surrendering control. Vital. Like for me, I have a lot of disability as far as my mobility is concerned, but my brain and my mouth sharp as a wit. But my shoulders just don't work. My legs just don't work. I couldn't believe my daughter is like such an authority now to say she will come to my house 5:30 in the morning to take me for a walk. Come on now, you want me to laugh at her, right? I'm cracking up.
I guess she think you're a dog, right?
At 5:30 in the morning, I'm ready to really just,
The dog need to go out, right?
man, at 5:30 in the morning, my knees are negotiating if they're gonna stand up to allow me to go to the bathroom. It's really crazy. But anyway, it is good though to be aware of who you are, be concerned as far as how much you can handle, what you can and cannot do, and think about your daily living support. Very important who is there. It doesn't mean that you're helpless. You're to know your strength, you're to know your weaknesses, and never ever be afraid to share this with a friend or with a family member.
Yeah.
You understand? Okay. And
Always remember, share your
yes,
last wishes, right?
always talk about it. Write it down. It's
Yeah.
not, you're gonna die. It doesn't matter how you put it, you're gonna die. I mean, there's some people live to be 100 and it seems like they're never, you just expect them to die. You just expect you're gonna hear that they're gonna die one way or the other. And if they're not dying, you want them to die. After a while, after a while, you want them to die because it's like they live too long. We just live
Yeah, but
in our
they're not
minds.
ready to die yet, though. Some of them are not ready to die. As
I
my
know they're
mom would
not
say,
ready
let
to
me
die,
live.
but in our minds, we just have this feeling like even though Granny is here forever, you still expect Granny to pass away. It's just the way God has made us.
I enjoyed every bit of my great grandmother's life, especially in that 99 to 105, because I could not believe she lived in 3 centuries.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was just crazy. And we would go in and talk and write things down. And it was just amazing and loving her through every moment. But I will tell you a funny story. When she woke up in the nursing home, she had never been to a hospital. She had never been to a care facility. And so she's 99 years old. She wakes up and I'm sitting in the chair waiting for her to wake up because she had a really serious fall and we couldn't take care of her after that fall. And she looked at me and she says, "This doesn't look like your house. Where do you have me?" And that was the first time, like, she was like, "Where am I?" But then as we would go and visit her, we would take her favorite foods. And after a while, she had to have a colostomy. And so the nurses didn't like some of the stuff that I was bringing her because her favorite food is chili dogs. So I'm cutting up chili dogs and bringing it to her. She's 105 years old. Let her have a chili dog. And
Right.
just enjoying that life, because one of the nurses says, well, it's not in her care plan. I said, well, then we need to talk to the doctor and put it in her care plan that she can have the food that she wants at
That's right.
105.
Exactly. You know,
But,
just like you said, one way or another, we all gonna pass on. So
Mhm.
when you reach that reach that age, hey, all bets are up. Have what you want.
Yeah,
but
just at that point.
enjoying your family that at every stage that they are. And it's interesting because I think about how much I cared for my great grandmother and my grandmother. Both my grandmother, I had a grandma who was my very serious grandma, and I had a grandma who was my crazy grandma. She had red hair all the way down past her waist, and she was 75 years old when she had this bright flaming red hair all the way down to her waist. And I thought, that's the way to live life. Just live it in abundance. Just live it fully. And then I look at the generation that's after us, and they don't have that same love of the older family members, and that worries me, and that almost scares me, because it's like there's no connection to our great grandparents anymore, and it's more of I've got to take care of me, I'm not going to take care of you. So yeah, we're the generation that we need to be thinking about how are we going to care for ourselves as we age, or as we age in place, because this younger generation, you're very fortunate if you have a family member who is going to love you completely through all those stages.
Yeah, so sad. Anyone have anything that they want to say? Lou, I saw you unmute yourself.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon. How you doing? Thank you for inviting me in, Ruth.
Thank you.
I
Welcome.
just had my name is Lou. Yeah, I had a question pertaining to I came in late. I didn't know whether you had any resource information for veterans, which I am not a veteran, but basically I do a lot of outreaches for veterans, seniors, whether it's the VA, however it might be.
So most of the counties in Florida have the veteran service officers in the counties. So I would suggest that you start with directing a veteran to reach out to their county office for the veteran service officers, because that veteran service officer is going to navigate with that veteran to where they need to go for each step of the way.
And the VA, it's www.va.gov is the official website.
So
Okay, I will. You put
we
that in the chat.
understand.
So
Okay,
if you
I'll
may,
find
if you
it.
have it, can you put it in the chat? I can do that referral
Yeah.
in
Yes.
reference.
And for
I
anything
appreciate
for
that.
health, yes, I'll put and it will be va.gov/health.care. And then we have okay, we'll put that there. I'll get that
So you say
going.
it's
This
www.
okay,
VA.
it's in this book
Okay.
behind closed doors.
All right. Okay.
Yes,
And
because the reason
there's information. ARP has some awesome information, and the American eldercare.acl.gov, and it's
Okay.
you can find it here. So I will close. So it's now 40 minutes after 7, and I will
Okay.
do
Thank you.
I will do the last thing here now. All
Before you
right.
close,
Yes.
okay,
Okay. No.
back to the veterans thing.
Yes, ma'am.
We know that we find a lot of our veterans on the street. Why do you think that's the case if these resources are there? How do we reach out? And Lou, you may be the one to answer that, because
And
yes,
I
there
can
are
answer that as
resources.
well for you. I can answer
Okay.
that as well. Okay, so with the VA, when I was volunteering in the Winn-Dixie parking lot, some of them want help and some of them do not want help because of and I think and I think is that PTSD where we need to help them with that first, because no matter how you try to help them and you put them inside of a home, when that PTSD kicks in, they want to go back inside the woods, and that's where they're comfortable at. So just like Pam said, maybe Lou, maybe you can help decipher that a little bit to see why is it that when we try to give them help, they don't want the help, but yet they don't mind living inside the woods and getting the help inside the woods.
It's a lot of
Well,
fear. I will bring John Perry on next week, and he's a veteran that is working, and I have a few veterans that I could make connection with to come on next week
Okay.
to address that. But it has a lot to do with fear and trust.
Yes.
There's a
Yeah,
trust
John-
issue
Yeah,
there.
trust. Definitely the
Yeah,
trust.
yeah.
If they trust
Right.
you, I remember when I was volunteering, if they trust me, they tell me where they live at and where their where in the woods they live at. But if they did not trust you, they were not gonna let you in on that. So you're right about that. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I would copy that with John Perry. He has a lot of education on being that he's a veteran himself. What my point of view being I'm not a veteran, my looking from the outside inside to our veterans that we never know what a veteran's mind is and when we actually been on the boots in their shoes. But what the reason I raised the question because they have some private facilities that would accept veterans for one of the beds or one of the rooms. And that's why I raised the question pertaining to did I miss something because I came in late. And as far as why they're not, a lot of them did not want to go into VA because they don't trust the system. But now we're getting better. When I say we, I'm not a veteran a facility advocate, but now they are getting better. But to educate out there, to go out and educate, let them know what's available, what can be done, and also follow up with them. Because if you just go to them and you think they have PTSD or whatever it might be, they don't want to be bothered. A lot of them do want to be bothered, but they have to have that trust, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
That trust. And part two to that, they have family members who makes decisions for them other than themselves, being that they are seniors. So we need to educate their family members. Like you say, you mentioned you hire somebody or adopt a teenager or a young person. Those are the people, perhaps they get educated because they won't take the effect of the older people, whether it's the veterans or not. They're making a decision. So we have to reach out to the young people
Yeah.
or younger people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So that's
right.
Yeah. So that's why I let them in the woods because they have somebody else, whether it's an ex-wife, ex-husband, ex-child, or whatever, that don't care, that knows exactly what to do. So that third party person, like one of us or one of anybody, can they reach out to our veterans and walk them through.
Nice to see you, Lou.
And they're coming up with I was on the affordable housing committee thing meeting today, and also for Lake County, they're working on extra help and things like that. They mentioned it in the last meeting that I went to on Friday or Thursday, and then also today again they're coming up even with the governor, they're coming up with some different things for VA. So you might see some other play that's coming up for VA because it's important.
Yeah. Well, I'm the board member at the Military Museum down in Kissimmee. I don't know if anybody have went there or visit that location, Posiana and 192. And the museum is a lot of information there. There's a lot of things that people put on the front desk. Resources. I know the VA does it, but not everybody can have access to going to VA like myself. So any other resources and everything, the museum has a lot of like meet and greet. Sometimes they have events, and then I would update routes anytime they have something else, something's there. Perhaps you can bring your show and set up a table there for the next event, a vendor table, which they don't charge.
That'd be nice. Okay, very good. Thank you. That'd be nice. Yes, appreciate that.
Okay, we'll follow up on that. I don't want to take up the time. God bless you.
Okay, Lou.
All right.
Thank you for being here, Lou.
Thank you. Pam, did you finish what you needed to say? Are you good?
I'm good. I just want to make sure that because my heart goes out every time I see a veteran on the streets, and I understand the mentality that you're expressing, but my concern is some kind of way we need to make a difference. We can't get everyone, but maybe if we can decide on selecting a particular population of elder people, and if that be our veterans, that, I'm just saying, how can we put our words and our desires to action? We have all these resources and access and information, but if it doesn't get to the people and the people that need it don't utilize it, it's all in vain, I think. So my concern is the action that we take from that point, from where we're having this discussion. What's our action
Okay.
items resulting from this?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, this is Frida. I am a veteran. I'm a third generation Army retiree. And a lot of times people may want help, but it depends sometimes on the veterans care that they can get from their local clinic, because there are clinics I've been to in different places, not just Florida, where the workers there really do care about the people and they try to help them. They give them information like mental health counseling. But then if you run into a place where the people really are not concerned, because I've actually had a provider that was telling me stuff that was not relevant to anything that was causing my issue, and she was so insistent. And even more recently, I had a conversation with someone like where we log into this event to where we log into this, and I was logged in, and she kept saying you weren't. She said you were logged into the wrong place, and it's like she was so insistent that I was wrong, but she wouldn't even look at the camera to see. And when you're
Mhm.
dealing with someone like that, and I've actually had one time a person tried to just stare me down, like to intimidate me. And I was, I had to let them know. I said, you are confused. I'm used to dealing with men, so you definitely can't intimidate me. But sometimes I've seen like veterans just go off on the deep end because they can't get the care they need. And it's like once you get there, and then you're finding that the providers are, like I said, I told her,
Caught up
it's
in
like you think I'm
caught up
stupid
in
or
the
something
Yeah, they're caught up in the
in
process
the process.
versus what the purpose
Yeah,
is. Their process versus purpose.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it makes
Okay.
it hard because once you get that frustrated, it's hard for you to keep dealing with the people there if you can't even get them to understand. Because a lot of times they act like because you need help that they can talk to you or deal with you any kind of way. And that's really frustrating to get to that point. And I always tell people, you're here because of a veteran. It's not the other way around. Because the only reason y'all have jobs at the VA is because you're taking care of veterans. You're not
Mm.
doing them a favor. You're not, because one time someone even said, well, I got a special formulary for you. And I was like, thank you. She was like, thank you. I did a lot. I said, did you pay it out your pocket? Did you do it in your off-duty time? If you did not, you did what you're getting paid to do. And I had to be sure she understood. You can't think that I owe you that you're doing a favor for me by doing what you get paid to do. We are the reasons why you're here, and you're here to take care of us. So when you're doing what you're supposed to do, if I need additional medicine or something, that's your job. That's what you get paid to do. Don't try to make me feel like you're doing me a favor. If you're on the clock and you're off, and I made sure she understood. I appreciate you thinking you're doing me a favor, but you're not. You're doing what you get paid to do. Just like when I was in the Army, I got paid to do certain things for the government, for the country. You're not doing people a favor by doing your job. And sometimes, depending on what their mentality is, they try to make you feel that way. And thank goodness, from dealing with men for so long, I hate to say with men, even with my same rank, treating you ugly, I've learned to stand my ground, not be mean or nasty. Because if you're cursing or you're doing anything that they could write down that you were unruly and disrespectful, they automatically can put you aside and not even say that you can get help. So it's like learn to walk the fine line of stating your what the issues are, but
Yeah.
keeping your
That's
sanity and not let
that's
them
great.
push you,
That's
Yeah.
because some
that's
of them
great
really
insight.
want to do that.
Yeah.
That's great insight, Frida, because I never
Yeah.
looked at it from that perspective. That's great insight and helps me to better understand why some of our veterans are on the street, because they don't get the respect when they go after the
Yeah.
service. And I appreciate that. And I
Yeah.
just want for us to, if we do anything with this, as opposed to it being self-serving, I want to make sure that we do a service to someone else, for someone
Okay,
else.
so that goes to say, we're getting short on time. That goes to say next week, then our topic should be talking about veterans. So we'll come up with something, and then we'll tackle that some more about that, because now we've hit a hot topic. Like Pam says, maybe we'll focus on something like that, the senior veterans and things things like that in order to be able to help them. But Frida, thank you so much for your input on that, because, I'm not a veteran. So like Lucia is not a veteran. So at least we're getting, so maybe next week we'll pick up where we left off on that, on being a veteran. I want to have Miss Joyce. Miss Joyce, do you have anything you want to add to it, Miss Joyce, before we go? And then Miss Rosemary is gonna.
No. I was just listening and well, Frida is her name.
Frida, yes.
But you said
Yes,
I
ma'am.
experienced it with my son, and I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about.
Appreciate it. Miss Beverly, you have anything you want to say? We're gonna let Miss Rose close it out, and then I'll do call to action at the end. You're good, Beverly? I can't hear you.
I was muted. No, I'm all right. I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right, Miss Rose, we're gonna it's 7:25. We're gonna let you close it out, and then I'll give
Okay.
her.
Listen, man, I'm getting older, and let me tell you something I've finally accepted. I don't like housework. Jesus, I don't like folding it. I don't like scrubbing it. Not just doing a quick wipe down. That lie right there, quick wipe down, has been exposed. When I was younger, I thought housework was just part of being grown. You cook, you clean, you hum a little tune, and somehow it all feels noble. Back then, I had energy. I could mop the floor and still feel like going out. Now, I need a nap after I make up my bed. When I make up my bed, it invites me to lie down back. The thing about getting older is this: my standard didn't drop, but my patience went to sleep. I still want a clean house. I just don't want me to be the one making it happen all the time. I walk past the dust now and I say, I see you later. We'll have a talk later, I promise you. I negotiate with the laundry. I don't fold immediately. I let it rest. It's been through enough tumbling through the dryer. So me say, just relax yourself for a little bit. And don't get me started on the kitchen. Why is it that I can cook one peaceful little meal and the kitchen look like it is hosted a revival meeting? Pots everywhere, spoons multiply. How did this happen? I was here the whole time. When did all these things come up on the counter? As I've gotten older, I've realized something important. I don't hate cleanliness. I just hate the pressure around it. The idea that a woman's worth is tied to how shiny her sink is. I silent judgment of an unmade bed and the expectation that I should enjoy this. Let me be clear. I do enjoy rest. Yes. I do enjoy a quiet time. Yes. I enjoy sitting down and not feeling guilty about it. But boy, getting older has taught me that my body has done enough. It has carried children. It has carried burden. It has carried callings. It has carried grief. It has carried joy, and it has carried responsibilities and the season of survival. If the floor didn't get swept today, it's because I have chosen peace to be quiet. Now I clean differently. I clean in stages. I clean when I feel like it. I clean enough not to impress anyone, but to live comfortably. And sometimes I don't even clean at all. And guess what? The world keeps spinning. There was a time I thought being a good woman meant doing everything without complaint. Now I know being a wise woman meant knowing what worths my energy. And housework, it's not at the top of the list anymore. If growing older gives you permission to put your foot up, leave the dishes till tomorrow morning. Choose joy over perfection. Then I'll take every gray hair with gratitude because I've earned the right to rest, even if the laundry is still looking at me funny. And I have to put a little end part on this. I went into the bathroom to clean it up this morning, and my dear cleaned it up for me.
Hey. Oh my
Don't
goodness.
even say a thing. I don't want Pam to even unmute.
I
My
saw
dear
her in the back. I saw her in the background. She was walking around. Oh my goodness.
My dear clean. I'm looking for the towels, and they were nicely folded and put in garbage
Wow.
bags to go to the laundry.
That is pretty
I wash the
amazing.
clothes and I put them down and tell them to rest. I'll return, and she fold them all up neatly on the
Wow,
dining room
really?
table. I'm telling you, man, this thing about
Wow.
anyway. So that's my take on old age. I tell the clothes that they've gone through a lot. They have tumbled in the dryer. They can rest a while. And I give them a
Amen.
break. So
Amen.
that's my
Amen.
take on it.
Amen.
And they
Amen. So
crush up and give you double work.
amen. So it's 7:30, y'all. 7:30 has come to an end. I know this was a heavy topic, and this topic also lead into something else for another topic for next week, which we'll continue that and come back, same time. We start at 6:30. So come on back. Usually at the end, we give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves or ask question or talk, but we're here every Monday from 6:30 to 7:30. So, bring someone, tell someone about it, share the link out, and we look forward to you connecting with us again next Monday at 6:30. If it's a holiday, then of course we won't have it, but you guys brought some good questions, and we started out talking about nursing home facilities and things like that, rehab, and then all of a sudden we lead into the veteran, which is as Pam says, near and dear to my heart. So I'd like to carry on that conversation, and maybe that will be one of our focus where we look in towards helping the veterans that need help out there, and we will focus on something like that. Like she said, focus on something that really matters, put action to it. So we're going to put some action to it, and I thank you guys for joining. Look forward to you guys coming back. No filter, no script. Florida Senior Living, just honest, real talk. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in.
See you next week. Have a good
Thank
See you
you.
next
God,
week.
season greetings.